Hello everyone and welcome. In this video I'll be discussing what possible role Alpha could play in The Walking Dead Season 10. Now I will be referencing some spoilers from the Whisperer arc in the comics, which in turn may go on to be future spoilers in the TV show, so just keep that in mind. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin! For those of you who don't know, a couple of weeks ago I recorded a video covering my thoughts on The Walking Dead Season 10 trailer, which I do think is very good. And in the end I didn't put that video out on my channel because after I finished it I looked back on it and I realised that I didn't actually agree with what I said about Alpha, which is why I'm now making this video instead. So this is your final warning because I am about to go into some major spoilers now, so if you get spoiled, well, that's your own fault. The Season 10 trailer makes it pretty clear that war is on the horizon, and it even seems as if Alpha might be the one declaring said war. I mean, there's a scene of her in which she says that our protagonist needs to be punished for trespassing on her land, and yeah, I mean, if that's not a declaration of war, then I don't know what is. However, comic book readers will know that in the comics she doesn't actually see the war take place because it's her death at the hands of Negan which is the catalyst for the entire Whisperer war. So with that in mind then, does this mean that Alpha will live for longer in the TV show than she does in the comics? I mean, based on the Season 10 trailer, it certainly seems that this might be a possibility. As shocking as it was seeing Negan slice open Alpha's throat and rip her head off in the comics, I did kind of think that she was killed a bit too quickly and didn't really go on to fulfill her potential, so maybe now the writers want to take a different route for the TV show. I do understand that in the comics, Negan killing Alpha is the big act that sort of convinces Rick to finally trust him. I mean, after he brings her head back, I think Rick gives him a house, if I remember correctly, and lets him integrate with the community a bit and actually help out. But in the TV show, I don't really think that's needed because I like Negan a lot more at this point in the TV show than I did at the same point in the comics. So he doesn't really need to do this sort of big redemption act by killing Alpha, in my opinion. And the reason why is that much of Negan's arc in Season 9 was centred on him becoming a sympathetic character. His relationship with Judith was for me one of the highlights of Season 9, and the fact that he risked his life to save her, well, I mean, it shows that there's more to him than just a guy who likes bashing people's heads in. My opinion on Negan has already changed from when he was first introduced in the TV show, so unlike the comics, I don't really need to see him kill Alpha for me to like him, because at this moment in time, I kind of already do. I also feel that it would be much more fitting if another character rather than Negan killed Alpha. I mean, the two don't even know each other. Negan and Alpha haven't even seen each other, so it would make more sense for someone like Carol or Ezekiel, someone who it's personal between them and Alpha because what she did to Henry, or Daryl, for example, or even Lydia. I mean, how awesome would that be to see Lydia kill her mum? I just don't think that Negan killing her is really warranted, to be honest. I know Negan does have a lot of fans, but I also know that some people feel that he was a bit sort of overused when he was introduced in the comics, to the point of him almost taking over and him being the one doing all the important events, so it would be nice to have someone else kill her. I mean, Carol says in the trailer that the bitch has to die, and to be honest, I would be all for Carol going full Season 5 premiere and blowing the hell out of Alpha and the Whisperers. It's entirely possible, therefore, that Alpha will die during the Whisperer War or after it finishes, which is completely different to what happens in the comics. Personally, I certainly wouldn't be against this because I think that Samantha Morton has been fantastic since she's came on the show. I think she may even be one of my favourite villains. Well, she might be my favourite villain in the entire Walking Dead run, which I didn't expect to say before Season 9 because I was never that much of a fan of her in the comics because, like I said, she was a bit short-lived. And the more of her, the better, to be quite honest, so I'm all for her sticking around for a lot longer. Of course, it could be that everything I just said is complete bullshit and this entire trailer was just presented in a way to misdirect viewers and make them think that Alpha will play a bigger part than she actually will. And then, those who don't know that she dies by Negan in the comics will be just as shocked as I was when I saw it on paper when it happens in the TV show. I mentioned near the start of this video that it seems as though Alpha is making a declaration of war when she says that our protagonist needs to be punished for trespassing on the Whisperer's land, but this might just be in reference to them trespassing through the Whisperer's land at the end of Season 9. It might not actually be a declaration of war, it may just be a punishment more in line with sort of what Negan did to Rick's group, You know, she might kill someone or set some more boundaries up, for example, or give them a final warning. Alpha also says during the trailer that the Whisperers are always watching, or words to that effect, and I think she knows that our protagonist trespassed through her land at the end of Season 9. And this may be because she might have left a few Whisperers there to keep an eye on things, or it might be because our protagonist dropped some items or, you know, left their tracks in the snow so they knew that they'd come through their land. Alpha is undoubtedly a scary villain, but I don't think she's going to start a war because someone walked through her territory. I mean, it's not as if Daryl and co went into our land and torched the place, they just went through it to get to where they wanted to go. So yeah, maybe this will just be the final warning for our protagonists before the war does start later on in the series. I mean, Alpha has already antagonised our protagonist enough already by putting loads of their friends' heads on Spike, so maybe she might cut them some slack this time. We see in the trailer that Carol, Daryl and a host of other characters are at what looks like Oceanside, so perhaps Alpha might issue an ultimatum to them to say, you know, you have to leave, you're the troublemakers, go away, otherwise I will kill the rest of you. So perhaps that's why Daryl and Carol do decide to leave. As I said at the beginning of this video, I made this video because I didn't agree with what I said in my Walking Dead Season 10 trailer sort of reaction discussion video. And in that video I actually said that I thought Alpha would die in exactly the same manner as in the comics, and that this trailer was just an attempt to misdirect us. But now I sort of changed my mind, and I know I've made arguments for both sides, but I actually think that Angela Kang might change things up a bit and have Alpha stick around for a lot longer than she does in the comic books. I remember that I said in a video before Season 9 aired that I thought that Alpha and Beta's deaths might be swapped around in the TV show, particularly because Beta was never that good a character in the comics, whereas Alpha was, and I felt that she was wasted. However, Beta is quite a cool character in the TV show, so I don't know, but maybe that is a possibility. Maybe Beta's death will be the one that sparks the war instead of Alpha, who knows. Maybe I'm just thinking this way because I love Samantha Morton playing Alpha so much that I just want to see her as much as possible. Perhaps I'm just clutching at straws, I don't know, but something about the trailer has made me think that she will play a big part in this season, and a bigger part than she did in the comics. But anyway, that's enough rambling from me. Let me know your thoughts below. What role do you think Alpha will play in Season 10 of The Walking Dead? Do you agree with me, or do you disagree and think it will be the same as the comics? Whatever your opinion, let me know below. Apologies for not getting anything up on the channel the last sort of week or so. I've been crazy busy at work, it's been hot again, and my daughter Daisy hasn't really wanted to sleep, but hopefully things will get back to normal now. So yeah, I've got a couple more Walking Dead videos that I want to do about the trailer and other things, and obviously Fear the Walking Dead is back next week. Can't you see how happy I am for that show to resume? So yeah, let me know your thoughts below, and thank you very much for watching. Take care, goodbye everyone.